Namaste, all you fragrant people, and welcome to Om Incense Show with DJ, a show that helps you increase your incense quotient. So, if you are an incense enthusiast, consider subscribing. So, today we have this brand here with us called Floberry. Flowberry, and if you see the whole packaging, it's like very it gives a very modern, very minimalistic kind of a brand, and very clean kind of a fragrance. The main thought behind launching this brand was he wanted a brand for people who are new to the world of incense and they would want to explore the incense, the various kinds of incenses that we have. Website is flowberry.in, so flowberry.in, so flowberry.in. So in this one pack, there's this whole collection of Floberry Artisanal Incense collection. So this is what we have, and it says plant and resin based, non-toxic, low smoke, and there are 6 unique fragrances in this box. It's Good Earth, Cherry Blossom, Bonfire, Sandalwood, Red Crystal, and Oud Noir. So what the packaging, it's very nice and white and minimal and very no noise kind of a packaging, very nice. There's 90 grams of incense, 15 grams each, and 6 packs. So if we talk of counts, it's there what, around 10 to 12 incense in each, I think 12 to 15 incense in each pack, and this is the overall pack. I think I even saw them on Amazon, so you might just want to go check that as well. Since this is a blanket review, I'm going to show you all the incenses that we have. This is Sandalwood, this is Oud Noir, this is Cherry Blossom, this is Good Earth, and this is Bonfire, and I guess this one is Red Crystal. So these are the 6 things that we have, that we get inside this pack, and have inside our silver pouches, silver unbranded pouches like these, and then we have the incenses in them. Right, so these are what the incenses we have. The incenses that we have inside are these hand rolled incenses. These are 9-inch incense stick, and you can make out from the undulations that it's hand rolled. It's dark brown with a little bit of masala on top. Though there are some incenses which are different, like so this that I showed you is Oud Noir, I guess, yeah. So since this is going to be a blanket review, I'm going to show you all the incenses that we have here, and then we'll discuss the fragrances, one by one. So this is Red Crystal, like you can see the pack here. The incense that we get inside this is this. So all of these are 9-inch incenses, and they last for around 45 minutes or something like that. I think it's a little bit more than 45 minutes because I think around an hour or so, that's what they last. So these are all hand rolled incenses, and the bamboo core has different colors in each of these. So this one has almost like a reddish kind of a color, not exactly red, but somewhat like that. So it has a floral, abstract kind of note to it. The cold incense, that's what it is like. Yeah, it's somewhat abstract, but it has a floral to it. It has some kind of a spicy note as well. Yeah. And the one thing that I really like about these incenses, and there are all these new age incenses these days, is that they mention the ingredients that's used in each of the incenses. Okay, so this is like halmadi resin, halmadi powder, copper powder, Indian nettle powder, mako, nakla, that's urantia, benzoin, rose extracts, sandalwood, distilled water, musk, fragrance oils, vanilla, and bamboo split. So that's what we have in this, and that's what they mentioned in all of the packagings. So that's a good one. It says the top note is rose, the heart note is saffron and cinnamon, and the base note is oud and cyproyl. So that's the note. So that is Red Crystal. The fragrance that I got from this was very, very floral, spicy kind of a note, and it had a very robust body. It had a very sure presence, and the diffusion was to my entire house. The retention was around 2 to 3 hours of active retention and around 4 to 5 hours of passive retention. So that's Red Crystal. I found the note quite complex because it has the floral, it has the spice, and those kind of notes. So if I have to give a star rating to it, it would be at around 3 stars because that's the kind of note I found, not something that I would want to reach out to again and again, but yeah, good enough. With a nice body. So if you are somebody who likes complex kinds of notes in incenses, complex fragrances, you would definitely like this. This is red crystal. So actually, in all of these incenses, there are four that I found complex notes, and there are two that I found mild kind of a note. So we'll be going according to that. Then we had sandalwood. Now this sandalwood comes in this has this yellow kind of a beige yellow kind of a bamboo core. This also is dark brown, and all of these incenses, like I said, are hand rolled. You have a little masala on top, not a lot, but there's a masala on top. The the journey is for around 45 minutes or 45 plus minutes. This has a mild kind of a floral fragrance, but it has a complex note, and I did not really find sandalwood in this. So how we have sandalwood as in the pure sandalwood note, and then you have sandalwood which has a lot of other masalas and some other thing that is beyond sandalwood. Okay, so it's like um, sandalwood plus more of things. So just like that, this also was quite complex. And if you like complex kind of fragrances, you would like this. The same thing again, the diffusion was to my entire house. So I'm sure if you have to diffuse, if you have to light this up out somewhere, it's going to diffuse to a large area. So diffusion was really good. The retention was, like I said, for this even is the active retention was for around 2 hours or so, and the passive retention was around 4 to 5 hours. And if you have to say the uber passive retention was around the whole night, because I lit this up at night and I could still get the fragrance of it in some corners of my house, in some whip somewhere. So this was like that kind of a passive retention. um if you like sandalwood with complex thought, this is it's like sandalwood. But if you're looking for that sandalwood, I did not find this here. So this was like, but to me, this came across as a 3-star incense again. So this was like sandalwood with other notes that made the whole sandalwood vibe complex. And sandalwood you did get in whiffs somewhere during the entire journey, but not because it's a sandalwood incense, you would find sandalwood. That is not what I found. So that's just me. Very sandalwood with 3-star. This collection was a very good gift, if you can just pair it up with a good incense holder and give this for Diwali or as a corporate gift also. This would be really nice because because of the kind of packaging, because of the kind of designs that it has on the package. It's very lifestyle kinds, very Gen Z kinds, very uh, modern and clean, and very useful. Yeah, very useful and very architectural. So that's the kind of note, that's the kind of packaging it has. So that was sandalwood. I have this one, which is oud noir. Surprisingly, this is the oud that I liked. So weird me, sometimes I will not like, sometimes I like. So there's nothing fixed about me. It's very, decode it at your own peril kinds. So this is what we have again. This is a brown kind of an incense with a little bit of masala, hand rolled. The bamboo core is beige. This one actually has a very nice fragrance, which is like a very amazing, very nice kind of a combination of modern and sacred. So it's like very yoga studio and very, 5-star hotel lobby kinds. If you are looking for something like that, or, if you have to have probably a book reading session at your house, or if you're an artist and you're gathering artists at home. So this is really going to be a good one for that. Very modern and yet incensey kind of fragrance. So Oud Noir, I really like this fragrance. And the top note is, it has wood to it. It has a little bit of spice. It has a little bit of sweetness to it. But the sweetness is not the kind of sweetness um, which is like the sweet kind of sweetness. If you've ever smelled something which is sweet, but you know that it's not sweet, as in it's not sugar or something like that, it's like it's sweet. It's not the sweet, but it's sweet. So that's the kind of sweetness it has. Okay. Now, this I wanted to light up and show you because I really like this incense. So basically, the star of the review is this one. Okay. So like I said, you find a little bit of spice in this, you find a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of wood, and somewhere in the heart, in the base, a little bit of floral also is there. So it's a very nice, this is by far the best, my favorite blend from all of the six incenses that's there. So I really liked it. If you are an oud lover and if you want to try all things oud, this is certainly for you. If you are somebody like me who doesn't like oud at all, I mean, not, I don't like the single note, strong kind of oud. I do like blends. So I like this blend, and because the oud doesn't come out as like a full-bodied oud, like the macho fragrance, that masculine thing that oud has, doesn't come out like that. It is, it's like a man with a very well developed feminine side, very nice, very good bodied, and yet very mild, very gentle, doesn't shove itself in your face, it doesn't attack your senses, it's not violent, but it will make its presence felt, and it's like it'll be there to comfort you. So I really like this Oud Noir, and I am going to give it a star rating of 5. So that's 5 stars for Flowberry Oud Noir. If you are an oud fragrance lover, you might just really want to get this and try this for yourself. So Oud Noir, by far my favorite. Then we have this one, which is okay. Then we have this one, which is Cherry Blossom, which has a purple kind of tone to it, and and each of these incenses have the notes mentioned at the back of the pack. So I'll, I'll probably, you might want to go check their website, and I'll also place pictures of this in the community post. So you might just want to go see the community post as well. Okay, so this is the Cherry Blossom one, and this has the core is somewhat a little bit of a reddish. It has a reddish kind of a tinge to it. It has a floral, which is like it's like a bouquet of flower. Very nice. The floral is, it has sweetness to it. It has lots of flower to it. And it has a little bit of talc, something which smells very soft and fine in this. Very nice. This is a very nice fragrance. As if you just like the cold note, you will just keep sniffing it like that all the time. That's the kind of note. This is very nice. Very sophisticated. I can also get a good note of rose in this. Probably somewhere in the flowers, is it? Yeah, it says May rose. Okay, and then it has Turkish rose. So no wonder there's a rose, and the wood is sandalwood. Okay, so that's patchouli and sandalwood. Patchouli, incense, and sandalwood in the base note. These are nice, you might just want to go check these incenses once for yourself and, see what kind of notes they are. And, 6 packs in one will be a good one. Just try 12 to 15 incenses in one, and then you'll be through with this. So this is Cherry Blossom. Now, Cherry Blossom also had, like I said, it's a complex note, and it's for somebody who might want to explore floral notes with incense and wood and spices. That's the kind of complex note it is. And the diffusion was to my entire house, and the diffusion for most of these was to my entire house, and the retention was for around 2 to 3 hours, and except for some that I'll say which wasn't that long, but for most of these complex notes that I said, was the diffusion was to my entire house, the retention was 2 to 3 hours, and 2 to 3 hours of active retention, 4 to 5 hours of passive retention. And for the sandalwood, it was almost the night. And for Oud Noir also, it was almost the night, where I could get whiffs of this in certain corners of my house, and nice, pleasant ones, not like the single note ouds, which are like a pain in the wherever it's most painful. So this is there. So this is cherry blossom, and that was that I really liked when this incense came to life. But yes, if you like complex notes, complex floral notes with um, like I said, wood and spice and flowers, you would like it. So to me, this was like 3-star incense. So good enough. That was cherry blossom. Now we have good earth. Now here comes the mild ones, okay? So the good earth, if you see, it's like that. It has a very nice yellow kind of a vibe to it. And this is the green bamboo core that it has, and dark brown, so almost like black kind of an incense. And it almost looks like coal incense in this, like it has coal in this, okay? It has a very moss kind of smell, like if you during winters or during monsoons, when you have moss covered walls and trees. If you've ever gone to a forest which hardly has any sunlight, and it has a lot of moisture and a lot of moss, that's the kind of fragrance that you get. Yeah, very foresty. It will instantly remind you of a forest, and very mossy kind of a fragrance. Very green kind of fragrance. If you can ever think of you know the first whiff you take, it's like green, fresh, foresty kind of a fragrance, but it has a very good resinous note to it. So it's like a combination of green and resin. It's like that. Yeah, so that's what this is. And you also get a little bit of, why can I smell hing in this? Weird me. Yeah, but this hing thing I get from some, I can't remember where I get this from. I get this fragrance from somewhere. Some incense related stuff itself. But it has a hing, a little bit of an asafoetida kind of a fragrance. Yeah, so that's what this is. So I found this to be quite mild. Oh yeah. It says the heart note is sandalwood, oud, and whatever. Okay, so this is like one of those instances which are like mild. If you they're there, soothing, but it will not invite a lot of attention from people. It just does its own work and then get away with it. So this is that kind of an instance which is like mild, subtle, and if I have to say the intensity was at around 3. So not even mid mild, slower than that. The diffusion was to one room of mine. The retention was for around 2 to 3 hours maximum. So both active and passive combined, that's the kind of retention. This was not to a very for a long time it was there. So this is like one of those incenses which you light up, you do your work, and you do your puja or stuff or whatever, and then you're done with it. So this was that kind of an incense. For most of the complex notes incenses, the intensity was at around 5. The sandalwood was at around 6, but then because it wasn't all that sandalwoody as such, which I didn't find, so that's the reason I did not really like it a lot, in the sense that if I have to reach out for a sandalwood incense, that's probably not going to be one of my choices. So the even the intensity, even though the intensity was quite a lot, it wasn't the kind of sandalwoody fragrance that I would look for. But for most complex notes, the intensity was at around 5 or 6. For these, the intensity is at around 3. So if you like mild kind of incenses, good earth is for you. So that's there. If I have to give a star rating, I think I would give it a star rating of at around 3. So something that is like really nice, once in a while you can light up, and not something that I would reach out for during my regular puja. This is something that I would reach out for when I'm reading a book, or probably I'm just having a chai, or just light this up in my garden sometimes and stand there. So it's like that kind of an incense for me. So that's good earth. Now the last one that we have is bonfire. Okay, now the bonfire is like this. It's very fiery. If you see the red kind of a vibe that it has. The bamboo core is yellow and green. That's what this is. This also is dark brown and has some masala on it. Okay, it has a little bit of sweetness to it, some kind of masala, and some kind of an earth that I can smell in this. A little bit of an earth, like how you have the petrichor, that kind of fragrance. Some kind of a grounding fragrance that's there. And I can smell masala in this. Masala as in, I think it's either mace or cinnamon, something like that. And a little bit of lemon. Yeah. So like I said, these are all complex. I mean, this comes across as a nice complex note. But when you light this up, it has, the intensity is, like I said, around 3 or 4. So it's not like something like even mid mild, not something that's going to invite your attention as such. It's just lit up in its place somewhere and it's doing its work. It's that kind of incense. The diffusion was to one room of mine. The retention was for around 3 hours of combined retention, both active and passive. And I would like to get this incense if I have to light this up at my, in my garden, like I said. And again, for the same thing, like, if I have to have my friends coming over and I know that there's somebody who doesn't like incense, but still I have to light up an incense. So this is something that I would light up. Sometimes at night I would just light up in my bedroom, and the bedroom will have a nice vibe, nice feel to it, and then it gets done. It's not going to linger around for the whole night. So it's that kind of an incense. So to me, this again came across as a 3-star incense, and that's Floberry Bonfire with 3 stars. And that was the last incense that we had in the pack. I really wanted to do all of this in one pack, because if you get to buy the pack, you are going to get all the 6 of them. And if you are looking for, giving it to a younger generation, or if you have somebody in your office or somebody who you might want them to explore incenses, this is something that you might want to give them. And I really like the brand and the branding. I like the minimalism that's there in the branding, the architecture feel that it has. I somehow don't like this kind of feel, but I like this one. So the quiz that we have today is, what is shamama? If you're somebody who likes attar and incenses, and this is something that you might have come across. So what is shamama? That's the quiz for today. So I hope you enjoyed this episode and you learned something from it. If you think somebody else can learn something from it, to share it with them. If you liked it, give it a like. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the Incense Journal. Join the channel to support our journey. This is Dolly Jha here, and I thank you so much for watching this episode. Till we meet again next, take very good care of yourself. Namaste.